Welcome to another episode of The Mind of a CEO. On today's episode, we have a special guest, April Brown. We're going to be talking about dealing with adversity. April lost her boyfriend, her mother in a span of 2 years, dealt with a divorce, but that then led into building a very successful business. You don't want to miss this. Let's dive in. How you doing?
Good. Happy to be here.
That's awesome. I was trying not to butcher that intro just now, but I got through it.
You did.
Yes.
You did awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, let's jump right into it. So, April, you're the CEO, the owner of Rootbar. All right.
Yes.
Like a lot of people see you today and they see a CEO that runs multiple businesses, a lot of locations, you're crushing it, you're leading your mother. Who was April before all of this existed?
Oh my God. I mean, that's such a big question, really. I think for me, I have always been someone who likes to create new things. So, like from a very young age, I've always just had this like fire and this spirit of competitiveness and just like a curious nature. So, before Root Bar, I mean, of course, like I had a whole life, lots of lives actually. I've lived lots of lives before Root Bar, but a lot of them obviously led me to Root Bar. So I think through the journey of, even being a kid, playing soccer competitively my whole life, like that's when it really started.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just always had this vision, even when I was a little girl, that I was going to own salons across Canada. Like my family even reminds me today of how I used to talk about it when I was 11 years old. And for some weird reason, I've just never let that vision go.
Wow.
Yeah.
For some weird reason, you haven't let that vision go. And it's so crazy you said that because I remember us talking about it when you were 11. You've always told your family members, right?
Yeah.
You're going to own multiple salons. That was your thing.
Yeah.
And you never let that vision go. Okay, this wasn't in my notes, but what has helped you hold on to that vision?
I think it's just like the idea of growing something so big with a team and like growing it here in Canada from like the ground up has just been like a dream for me. It's always been a dream. And the more I got into hair and the more I fell in love with the industry and the people in the industry and the people I got to work with, the more I kept coming back to the idea of like how much fun I have inside the salon and
Hmm.
around those types of people. And I love it. I'm obsessed with the beauty industry and specifically the hair industry. I think it's just one of the most magical and fun industries that anyone can work in. I know obviously you're in the fitness industry and
Yes,
like you're probably so obsessed with the fitness
of
industry. You
course.
like
Yeah.
eat, breathe, sleep fitness. It's like the same thing for me, but now it's like because I've worked in so many different areas within the beauty industry that it's like all of those experiences I get to bring to this company now.
Hmm.
And I love every facet of it.
Wow. I really admire your passion and I could see it. It's bubbling out the way you're talking about it. I never knew the hair industry was this much fun.
Yeah.
I know a lot of hairdressers that don't have this level of enthusiasm that you have
Yeah.
for the industry. But I want to go back to that 11-year-old,
Yeah.
that
Let's do it.
thinking about owning a business. Like most 11-year-olds are not thinking about that. They're thinking about, especially I'm thinking about my daughter,
Yeah. You're not
oh, my
there.
sis, they're probably
Yeah.
thinking, I'm gonna be a princess,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this, I'm
Yeah.
gonna do that.
Yeah.
And you were thinking about owning a business.
Yeah.
What was happening in your life at that age that made you believe you needed to build something?
Yeah, for sure. I think the biggest example was just the way I grew up, right? Like my parents struggled my whole childhood. They lived paycheck to paycheck. We definitely didn't grow up with very much. And actually, at the time when I was talking about this, my family was actually separating. So
Mm.
my parents were separating. And when you're that age, you're like, obviously at that age, you shouldn't be thinking about like working, right? Like it's
Yes.
not a thought in your mind. But for some reason, it was a thought in my mind. And I think looking back at it now, objectively, like being in my 30s, it's like that child was probably thinking like big picture at such a young age. So I think I grew up really fast and really quickly because I always felt like I had to like contribute almost.
Mm,
Not at 11 years old,
I
but,
know.
like, the wheels were obviously starting to turn, I think.
Wow.
Mhm.
That that is new information.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
because we've talked about this
Yeah.
and
Well, and I was thinking about it, a little bit deeper, and I'm like, "What? That is
boy,
such a weird
it's
thing."
weird. I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. No, it is such a weird thing.
Because when I remember talking to you about this, and because I'm thinking about it from a parent standpoint,
Yeah.
because every
Yeah.
parent, you're a parent,
Yeah.
we want to put our kids in the best position to
Yeah.
live life at their best,
Mhm.
right? So I was like, how did she birth that drive? But
Yeah.
this makes a lot more
Yeah.
sense.
And I think I just always wanted to be really successful because I had 2 struggling parents who weren't,
Hmm.
right? I think a lot of it was psychological, but the hair salon thing is totally random. Like, I didn't know I was gonna be a hairdresser or anything like that, but I guess I just always wanted to subconsciously.
Wow. Okay. One more question on this part.
Mhm. Yeah.
We've seen a lot of scenarios where parents split, kid sees that as this is the reason why I'm gonna live my life in this path.
Yeah.
Maybe negative,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But you chose sort of like not
Yeah.
sort of a very positive path,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
What do you think creates that shift
I
for?
mean, obviously, you've every day you have paths you can take, right?
Mhm.
You can drive down McLeod Trail or you can take Deerfoot. Like,
Yeah.
you choose the path you wanna take, right? And I think for me, growing up with the examples that I had, so I had a very big extended family, and then, of course, my family. So, like, lots of cousins, lots of aunts, lots of uncles, and we were always together all the time. So I saw, like, my cousins, for example, the way that they were growing up with their parents, and then I had my parents, right? So I think subconsciously I just knew that I wanted different, and I was going to do whatever it took to have a different life. And I've always had this like drive and this focus, and then quite early on in my 20s I had to grow up really really fast because my mom was sick. So for me it's like I just had to grow up. I had to work, I had to hustle, and I think when you're like all of my friends at that age were partying, right?
Yeah.
Like when we used to work together back in the day at a
Hmm.
bar, like that I was working 3 jobs.
I
I had already
remember.
bought a house. Like I owned my first home when I was like 24 years old. So I was like already like trying to grow my future because I knew I had to. So I don't know, it's just one of those things that, nature versus nurture, right?
I know, but this is you guys can see why I had to get April as a guest on this show because even back then, I remember you just always saying your vision. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this, and it's happening, and that's why I'm so excited about your
Yeah.
story. But we're gonna get more into the juice. Okay,
Yeah.
when you were grinding, like we'll fast forward a little bit,
Yeah.
right? You got into the hair business and you got into the tech space of the
Yeah.
hair
Yeah.
business. Um, were you like chasing success at that time, or were you trying to outrun something inside yourself?
Yeah, I think so. I definitely moved from physically doing hair into other aspects of the industry, more
Hmm.
so because I just wanted to experience something else.
Okay.
It wasn't that I was running from anything, but I was definitely starting over for sure. So it was a point in time where I was starting over in my life and I was looking for more, right? And I was in a relationship at the time that I was very much in a box. So when you're in a box, you start like obviously trying to reach out of the box and you're trying to get out of the box constantly. And I think for me, that journey was really, really about like trying to get myself in a position to either get out of that relationship and also just to explore new opportunities for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Exploring new opportunities and getting out of the relationships
Hmm.
and the relationship.
Yeah.
This leads to my next question.
Yeah.
All right. And I think this is probably one of the hardest things. Like when you were telling me about your journey, I was like, that must have been so hard to
Yeah.
do. Like you left your marriage, right? You
Yeah.
moved cities.
Yeah. Moved back.
And then you moved back to Calgary
Yeah.
and then the world shut down too as well
Yeah.
at the same time. Take me back to that exact moment you realized like your life had completely like changed.
Yeah. I mean, of course, I think anyone that has ever gone through a divorce or a separation, it's like a death almost. Like you literally, there's like thing gets like severed off and this whole other life that you had with someone else is no longer there, including like their family, mutual friends, like everything is gone. So you go through this very intense grieving process. And I think if you've been like people who have been through it know it. And so it gets pretty dark for sure. And then, of course, you get to start over and you get to decide like who you want to be and what kind of people you want to bring into your life and all the things that really, truly matter. Because I think before in my past, prior to that relationship, like I was letting people choose me and I wasn't 100% like I wasn't choosing them. I thought I was, but I wasn't choosing myself,
Mm-hmm.
in that process. And so I got to start over, but then on top of that, like COVID happened. I got laid off from my job. So I'm in this dark depression of, a failed marriage, like I had literally left everything behind and I had nothing. I remember calling my brother being like, "Hey dude, like I'm moving in with you and like I need to start over basically." I
Wow.
packed everything in my car and came back to Calgary. And then from that point on, it was like pretty dark for sure. I would say there was about a good 6 to 8 months where like I didn't even want to leave the house kind of vibe. And then COVID happened. So COVID was like the greatest reset of my life. So I was
Greatest
able,
reset.
yeah, totally. So like after that, COVID happened. So there was just like no winning for me, but it was the only time in my life ever, even from like again picturing that 11-year-old girl who was thinking about hustling, that
Mm-hmm.
I didn't work. So it was 8 to 10 weeks I was laid off from my job and I was like, now what? Like what do I really want? Like who am I? What's going to bring me happiness? Like all the questions started bubbling up and I never slowed down enough to have that time to even think about those things.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's I like the way we kind of brushed over those 6 months
Yeah.
of darkness.
Yeah. You're like just
I
sweeping
know,
under the
like
table.
it's
Yeah.
just like, but
Yeah.
6 months
Yeah.
of just deep depression that
Yeah.
you said.
Yeah.
How did you get through those months? What were you doing just to like keep your head leveled so that you weren't drowning in that darkness that you were in that moment?
Yeah, like, I've always been a really happy person. I'm a
Yeah.
very bubbly, happy person, and even if I'm not happy, like, you would never know I'm not happy.
Hmm.
But this was a scenario in which I was definitely, like, visibly unhappy, for sure. I was, like, crying a lot. Like, I don't even cry. Like, I can't even tell you the last time I cried. Like, it's just not an emotion that comes up for me. So, I was, like, definitely visibly depressed for those 6 to 8 months, but you know what? For me, it was just, like, being around my really close friends and family. That was, like, all I really needed, and I just
Hmm.
wanted to be away from everything else, and connect with nature and just, like, be back at home, be around my people. Like, it's crazy how much community, like, lifts you back up into,
Wow.
like, at least got me on my feet for sure.
The close
Definitely.
friends and family, they were
Yeah.
there to like hold you up.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy you said that because as long as you're willing to like put yourself in a position, there's always gonna be people that care about you
Yeah.
that will hold you down so that you don't fall on your
For
face, right?
sure. Yeah. And I think having that community and those people, like even as a parent now, like you
Hmm.
want to make sure you have those people around you because like something catastrophic could happen tomorrow and you need support.
Yes.
You really do. It's so important.
I'm thinking more about it and I think I'm just picturing those 6 months.
Yeah.
How was it that you didn't isolate? Because some people could feel some levels of, shame or
Yeah.
guilt, right?
Definitely. I
And you
will
wouldn't
say,
isolate, you would want to
yeah.
isolate from people that actually want to help you
Yeah.
and pick you up.
Yeah. I would say there was a bit of isolation for sure. Like it's not normal for me to like not go out for dinner or like go out on the town or like go out places. Like that period of time in my life I did not. I did not want to do anything. So I was at home a lot, but like just chilling like with my people. You know what I mean? Like yeah, it was not like isolating in the sense of like I would just didn't leave my house kind of thing, but
Hmm.
um I wasn't, like, out. I didn't wanna, like, run into people, you know what I mean? Because
Hmm.
there was a lot of guilt and shame for sure.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're feeling a lot of guilt and shame. It's
Mhm.
6 months of depression,
Yeah.
and then COVID
Yeah.
happens, the
COVID.
big reset for
Mhm.
you.
Mhm.
Okay, take us back to that reset.
Yeah. I mean, imagine this. You're literally in the darkest place of your life you've ever been, and then COVID happens. Then you lose your job on top of it. The only thing that's like helping you pretty much like show up every day and survive. So that to me was like my rock bottom personally.
Hmm.
In a sense of like I felt like I literally had nothing. And so I really just wanted to like spend some time with April and kind of get to know like what April really wanted, you know? And again, I never had time in my life. Like I was always hustling, always grinding. Like I never slowed down enough to actually sit at home for 10 weeks and not do anything. So it created space for me and time to just do some really deep thinking and really think about, who I wanted to be and what I wanted to create and where I wanted to go with my life. Like it was like there's no place but up at that point.
Hmm.
So yeah, I was able to like kind of go away. I remember I called my aunt and uncle. They have a cabin in Sylvan Lake, and I was like, "Hey, I want to go to your cabin alone for like a couple weeks. Is that okay?" And they're like, "Yeah, like no one's using it." So I literally like went and like just started journaling and writing things down and like getting every thought and feeling that I had out on paper. And then I realized that what I was missing in my life was joy for sure. And I know you and I had talked about that. And
Yes.
I just really wanted to get back to the person that, I was when I was really happy in my life. And like, what did that look like? Who was I around? What was I doing? Like, what did that really, really look like? And out literally came the birth of Root Bar. So, and it was always like in the salon, you know?
Hmm. Wow. And the salon was where you felt the most joy
Joy.
in your
Mhm.
life. And
Yeah.
back to that 11-year-old.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is such a insane moment right
Yeah.
there. Like
Yeah.
no therapist, no nothing.
Yeah.
You just isolated yourself, went out to Sylvan Lake,
Yeah.
started reflecting.
Yeah.
How didn't you go crazy, man? Like,
Oh, I did. I did. I
you
was
you
like,
went crazy and came back.
yeah, I did. And then I came back. It was perfect. It was great. But it was like I've never been alone like that. Like, I don't
Hmm.
know. I don't know if you've ever been alone
I
for a long
don't
period
I
of time.
I don't think so.
No, now I like dream about days where I could be alone. Like I'm like, oh, it'd be so nice to go like be alone for like a full 24 hours. Like
Hmm.
how good would that be? Like
Yes, no social media,
nothing,
nothing.
like no kids, no nothing, But like when can you do that? You can't. So I'm glad I took the opportunity when I did have it. And I think it's really important. It is a really good reminder. And like I love that we've been talking about this because it's so important to go back to that and make sure that you create space and time for your thoughts and your feelings to process in your body and come out of your mind. Like it needs to come out. It can't like live in you.
Hmm. Why do you say that?
Because
Elaborate
I
more.
think, like, especially, like, someone like myself, like, I'm like, I am going a mile a minute, and I need to get things out of this head and, like, onto paper or, like, out so it doesn't, like, live inside of my mind?
Yeah.
I think it's really important for, like, just your well-being to get things out,
Hmm.
and they don't always need to be, like, said. I
Yeah.
think writing things down and getting them out of your head is so important.
Now, what do you say? Because as you saying this, I'm reflecting. I'm like, this is so interesting. But like, being an entrepreneur, we pride ourselves in that hustle mindset and keep going and pushing and
Yeah.
pushing and pushing.
Yeah.
And you know this, you just
Oh,
came back
yeah.
from a 3-week vacation, but you
Yeah.
worked,
Yeah,
right?
I did, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
um, uh, what do you say to that thought in comparison to like taking the time to, get things out, once in a while, get that
Yeah.
moment where you're isolated, you can reflect, think, and get it out of your mind, get it out of your body.
Yeah, I think, like, just from a health perspective, it's really important to be able to slow down regardless. I know we've been in this, like, hustle world, I think, honestly, since COVID. Like, I feel like
Yes.
as soon as, like, COVID was over, it was like, go, like, everyone's been, like, sprinting almost, and time feels like it's moving that fast too, right? So, I think it's really important now more than ever, like, we're 6 years past that. Like,
Hmm.
and if you've been grinding the whole time, like your body and your nervous system is for sure unwell. And I
Wow.
know mine was definitely. And I found that out when I was trying to have a baby, how
Mm.
bad my nervous system was. So I think it's so important now more than ever that we're taking care of our health. And social media, like, let's be honest, love it, hate it,
Hmm.
right? It
Yeah.
just creates the hustle culture and it puts pressure on people. Like, they have to perform all the time. And it's just not necessary, you
No.
know? And we're getting so caught up in it.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but there's this like energy in Calgary. Like, I even felt it like this morning. I was like, just slow down. Like, do you feel
Mm.
like you're always rushing around the city?
Yeah.
I
100%.
feel that way too, and I feel like
I think
it's
it's because you were in the island, though. You were living the island
yeah.
life, so you
No.
came.
No, but I always feel that way when I come back home.
Mm.
There's like this hustle here.
Yeah.
And, I think obviously your environment shapes who you are. So
Yeah.
you take all of these elements, right? Whether it's the internet or where you live, or, everyone's trying to keep up with everyone,
Yes.
it's all that pressure all the time. It's exhausting,
Hmm.
and I think creating like days, even if they're just days where you're, like, going to the spa for, like, half the day, and then you're going for, like, a couple-hour walk, or you're going for a hike, or you're doing something in solitude alone with
Yes.
no one,
With no
no
one.
one, so you can process your thoughts and your feelings and get it out, and, yeah, no device for sure.
It's so funny that you said that because I'm glad you touched on that because a lot of people always, I'm a trainer and they always want to come lift, like do my workout
Yeah,
with me. And
yeah,
I'm like, it's a moment that it's for me.
yeah,
I don't want to get
yeah,
into coach mode or whatever. I want
yeah,
to just isolate because the importance of that is massive,
yeah.
you know?
It's therapy,
It
right?
is. It is.
Yeah,
Um, when you decided to start Root Bar,
yeah.
okay? Were you thinking about building a business or were you rebuilding yourself?
Yeah. I think both. Yeah. I think both existed equally for sure. I
Hmm.
think um I don't know if I told you this story about when I went to go see like a psychic or a medium before I,
No.
I left my ex-husband. So, um, one of the biggest things it was like a moment in time where there was like a before and an after, like a very clear, defined before and after. So I went to see this lady and she talked to me about just picturing a ladder. And she's like, I want you to think about this ladder as like steps for your life. And you're on this ladder and you've been climbing this ladder for a while now and you've gotten off at this level and basically it's good here, like you look around, like you have a good life, everything's good, but there's something more waiting for you. Like, I'll never forget this. She's like, there's something more waiting for you if you choose to get back on the ladder and climb up even higher to higher like heights basically. And it was a metaphor, but regardless, it stuck with me in such a deep way that I was like, I there's no ceiling. Like, it made me think that like, yeah, I could stay here, but why the fuck would I? Like, why would I? If there's so much more for me, why would I not keep growing and keep climbing? So I think Root Bar is two things. I think it was my chance to start over without any walls or box or anything around me, to be totally authentic and be myself
Yeah.
and unapologetically. And then I think that Root Bar was also an opportunity for me to like, sky's the limit. Like, let's see how far we can take this. And I had a big vision for Root Bar before I even like trademarked it.
Wow.
I knew it was gonna be huge, and I know it's gonna, like, explode, so,
Okay, now we're talking about Root Bar.
yeah.
Could you elaborate what Root Bar is for those people that don't even
Yeah,
know?
yeah, so Root Bar is a hair salon, but it's unique, so it's more of a niche salon, so it's an express hair touch-up and wine bar, so we specialize in express services for people who just really don't have the time to spend, like, 3 or 4 hours in a hair salon, and, after you get your hair color on, you actually process at our coffee and wine bar, so it's, like, a little bit of an experience, but also it gives people the options of coming in for a really quick hair color touch-up and then not compromising on experience, right?
Mm.
So it's a place like someone who's really busy can like literally go on their lunch break. We've got a lot of women that come in and like literally work on their laptops,
Yeah.
enjoy a mimosa, and like go on with their day. It's just like a very unique salon for sure.
Wow, I've
Yeah.
been there. It's a beautiful, beautiful spot. I don't need it, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it was pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just reflecting on your whole story, and the one thing that I notice about you, and this is not in here, is you have that fearless approach to things.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
where does that come from?
Yeah, I think for me, I experienced a lot of tragedy in my life actually. So, my mom passed away at a pretty young age. I was 25 years old when my mom died. So, I think just living through the experience of losing someone so young, and then before my mom passed, actually, my boyfriend at the time and my best friend. So he was like my best friend. I would call him that. He actually got hit by a drunk driver 2 years prior to that. So it was like tragedy after tragedy. And then my grandpa died in between there. And like there was just a lot of loss in my life and within 2 years. Now, my mom being sick was like a long period of time. Like she was sick for about 6 years, but I had to live through that experience with her. And I think when you deal with the loss of people you love, you have two choices, right? You're like, hey, I get to live and enjoy my life and live life to the fullest because they're not able to. So there's like a sense of responsibility that I carry with me to like live out my biggest dreams and goals and live fully, like
Mhm,
live like a very full life
mhm,
because they weren't able to. And
mhm,
I felt that from, the first tragedy. But then when my mom passed, it was like this overwhelming feeling of like, let's do it. Like I was like, I'm gonna live so fully and so like I just wanted to be happy.
mhm.
And I know that she would have wanted that for me too. So yeah, I just choose to really like live.
Wow, you
Yeah.
choose to live. So
Yeah.
choosing to live is what has suppressed the feeling of fear.
Yeah. No fear. Yeah.
Wow, that
Yeah.
is deep.
Yeah.
When you choose to live your life to the fullest potential that you
Yeah.
have, the thought of fear is at its lowest point,
Yeah. It
or not
doesn't
even there.
it doesn't even exist because my biggest fear is like, what's gonna happen? Like, am I gonna die? No. Like, so like we're good. Like we're good. I will learn from every single experience that I get to experience in my life, and that's it. Like I could go bankrupt tomorrow, and I'm telling you, I could start my life over. Like I don't. There's no fear, for
I
sure.
remember you saying that, and
Yeah.
that stuck out to me the most
Yeah.
right there. You're like, I could lose everything right
Yeah.
now, and cool, as long as I'm okay, my kid
Yeah.
is okay,
Yeah. Like,
that's what
as
that
long as
matters.
I have my mind and my body healthy, I'm good. I can start over a million times over because I've already done it.
Hmm.
I think when you start your life over after, let's say a divorce or something, right? Something tragic or anything that happens to you, like you're like, yeah, I've done it. I've been there, done that. Like, what is the worst thing that can happen to me? If you've already lived through some of those really
Yes.
hard
Yeah.
experiences and you came out fine, what's the worst that's gonna happen?
That is tough. Boyfriend passes away, mom passes away, granddad passes
Yeah.
away in a
Yeah.
span of 2 years.
2 years, yeah. Yeah.
You've been through some stuff.
Yeah, and that was in my 20s, so you can imagine, and that's why I was, like, grinding and, like, doing so much because like, I just wanted to be successful, you
Mm.
know?
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm so motivated by your story and inspired, more
Oh,
so
thank you.
inspired because it's like it lets you see the in life, you create what you want. And we talked about that
Yeah.
earlier. You creating the life that you want, not
Yeah.
reacting,
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
exactly, and I think I mean, don't get me wrong, like, there have been moments where you're running and you're chasing, but that's just a part of the journey to get to where you want. As long as you're very clear on what you want and why you want it, that's fine. But if you lose sight of that thing or, like,
Mm.
that why, then it's like then you really are just on the hamster wheel?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what things do you do to kind of anchor your why? And what is your why?
I knew you were gonna go there.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's just like freedom and happiness. Like, I really don't want, of course, like I would love a ton of money and I would love, like, of course, I love nice things. Like, don't get me wrong, I have really expensive tastes. So
I
like
know you do.
I do need money for sure. But that's not what it's about. It's about time, right? Health, like things that money can't buy is like truly what I'm after, you know?
Things that money can't buy.
Yeah. And I think money also creates, unfortunately, it does help drive some of those things, you know, but
Yes.
you can't really have one without the other. You can't, go away for 2 months and not work and just enjoy your life without having to work really fucking hard, you know?
Hmm.
You can't.
No,
Yeah.
I
I
love
hope
it.
it's okay that I swore.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. This episode might not be for kids listening
Yeah,
to it. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. Beep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, beep beep beep.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. I love it. You speaking passionately, you
Yeah.
speaking from the heart. Now you lead dozens of like people right
Hmm.
now with
Yeah.
your team,
Yeah.
multiple locations.
Yeah.
You guys are growing really fast.
Yeah.
You're franchising,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um, what part of success surprised you the most?
I think, of course, I think when you go into it, you're like, everyone's gonna like me. Like, it's just gonna be such a good vibe. I think the thing that surprised me the most is just like the human aspect, right? And just really figuring out how to deal with different people, right? Not everyone is the same, right? And no one is gonna be you. So really, really focusing for me, one of the biggest things I had to learn was like, how do I be someone that can work with anyone? I think we're so stuck in like, it has to be like this. But I'm like, no, it doesn't have to be like that. We can work with different people as long as we know how to communicate. We're respectful, we're kind, and we're heart like all the values are there. It doesn't matter. So I think it's just really trying to figure out who your people are and who you really want to invest in and what kind of people you want to work around. So creating the culture has been like the biggest hurdle for sure. It's taken years to get to a place where you like really know exactly who you're looking for and the gaps in your business and who do you need to hire and different areas that you need to fill based on skill set and personality, right? So and like now I don't hire anyone that doesn't have an amazing personality. Like I will
Wow.
interview someone 3 or 4 times just so I can literally get to know who they truly are
Hmm.
because who they are says more about them than like I can train skills. We can train skills all day long, rinse and repeat, repetitiveness, but it's more of like who they are that matters.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, did you make mistakes earlier when you
Oh
were
god, yeah.
building? You're like, because you
Yeah.
needed people,
Yeah,
you're
you're like
growing.
you're like, "I'll take anyone." No.
I've made that mistake
Yeah.
too. So
Yeah.
so how what are some things you're doing now? Right? You say you do about 3 interviews to just get
Yeah.
a feel for
Yeah.
that. What other things do you do to really get a feel for someone's personality, like that amazing personality you talked
Yeah,
about?
I think like one of the biggest things is like actually working with them before you hire them. Like getting them to do some work either for you, whether it's like you're hiring someone on an admin side or you're hiring someone like actually to do hair or, like actually working with them a little bit before you both agree that it's a fit. Not a
Hmm.
lot of people do that,
Yeah,
but I think it's really important like to spend a few hours with someone.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what part of success is actually the hardest struggle? Is harder than the struggle.
I think like I mean, success is so funny, right?
Yeah.
Like,
But let's talk about business success
yeah.
because there's
Yeah.
many pillars of
Right.
success.
Yeah, for sure. I think the biggest thing for me was time management, right? So in the very beginning, I was running. Like I said, we were sprinting. Like I couldn't go fast enough. I'm still in that mindset. Like I actually really want to move quickly, but I don't want to move quickly. Like I want the company to move quickly. So like separating myself from that. So this is Root Bar. This is April. April wants Root Bar to do this, and I need to figure out how to get there while still taking care of April. So like two different entities. And I think when you're just starting a company and you're just starting a business, they're like this. It's the
Yeah,
same thing, right?
exactly.
So just separating the two. Now it's take care of April first so that Root Bar can go as fast as it needs to go. And all the things that are coming, I can deal with them and life is good. I can be a mother. I can be at home as much as I need to. I can go to the gym. Like I can take care of myself now. It's more of like a different pace. So finding balance, time, and like just a different pace.
Interesting.
And
take
that
care of
did not
April.
exist
I know. I was gonna
before.
say
Yeah.
take care of April first, and then so that you can handle what you
Yeah.
need to.
Yeah.
Okay, now I got a follow-up question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think if you had that same approach at the start of your journey with Root Bar, you would have still accumulated the level of business success you are today?
Ah, that's tough. You know, I do think you have to make a lot of sacrifices in the beginning. Like, I hate to say it, but you just do. You know, I think that's why they call it the 2%, right? Because not everyone is willing to go to those sort of levels of extreme of like working 12 hours, sometimes even 20,
More. Yeah.
a day, and going to bed, waking up and doing it all over again, for months on end. Like, I do think it takes a certain grind to get there. And I don't want to like
It's
tell
interesting you're
yeah.
saying this right now.
Yeah, like I don't want to tell people that like cuz now it's different for me, but I've established, like I realize that that's not attainable, right? But I do think at a certain point when you're starting a company, there has to be a good 3 to 6 months where you are literally grinding it out. And if you're not willing to, someone else that you're hiring has to. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
you're either putting the things in place so that it can move, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so interesting because I know we all talk about that, right? But it's kind of conflicting a little bit
Mhm.
because you're like, take care of April
Yeah.
first so that I can handle what
Yeah.
comes to me.
Yeah.
You think if you took off April first
Yeah.
at the beginning, you
Mhm.
wouldn't handle the things that came to you better or faster?
No, I think it's just, you know what?
I'm just
No,
challenging that
no,
thought
for
that you're
sure.
saying.
Yeah, I think what it really comes down to is money, right? Like and
Mm,
resources, right?
resources.
Because you're trading time for money always, right? That's just like always what's happening. That's a dance you're doing in
100%.
in your business. So if I could afford to like pay people to wear more hats in the beginning, I probably would have. But you have to wear all the hats sometimes, right? Especially like it depends on the situation, right? So I think every scenario is different. I think people like some people start their companies with a full C-suite, right?
Yeah.
They have like their COO, their CMO, like they have all those people. So yeah, in that place and time, then yes, you should be taking care of yourself first. So then you can show up as a leader and a CEO, right?
Hmm.
But for me, I had to get to
To
that
that
point
point. Yeah.
in order to you know, create space and time to take care of myself, right? But I think when a small business to
Yeah.
become a large enterprise,
Yeah.
it's a grind.
It's a grind.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love your transparency with that thought because I think we talk about that now
Hmm.
because everyone's trying to prevent burnout. And
Yeah.
I think understanding what phase are you in?
Right. And if you are in that phase, it's okay. If you can afford to hire people, hire people. Take care of yourself. Like 100%. I don't want to say like don't take care of yourself. Like
Mm-hmm.
don't do what I did.
Yeah.
But like if you have to, you have to. I think it's all situational,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
What experiences were you noticing earlier when you were in that grind phase when probably April took a backseat
Yeah.
and Root Bar was number one in everything? What were you noticing that I should
Oh, I
probably start
mean
taking care of my
I mean, just fatigue, right? Like, so tired, right? You get so tired. Like, I remember I was drinking like 3 or 4 coffees a day. Like,
wasn't even doing
no,
anything?
it's just like the cortisol was not working. So
Uh-huh.
I think it's just one of those things you just gotta figure it out, right? You know if you're not sleeping well that it's it's not as good. But I think rest, like in general,
Yeah.
is like a big indicator that like if you're not sleeping well, something's not working,
Yeah.
right? And I think a lot of women in general, like I don't know about you, but like
Mm-hmm.
my husband can fall asleep in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Like 5 seconds. Like
Yeah.
he can sleep anywhere. I'm like, what?
I'm like that.
How?
It must be a dude thing.
Right? And so like
How?
for us women, it's a little bit harder. So like
Yes.
sleep is a really important thing.
Yeah.
And we already like lack it, I think, naturally.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so important to take care of your sleep so you can be rested in order to have enough energy to do all the things you need to do, right?
Yeah, that's something my wife always reminds me of,
Yeah.
saying that women are supposed to have more sleeps
Yeah.
than guys whenever she's
Yeah.
sleeping in. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you need to get your butt up.
Yeah. That's so funny.
When when your daughter is older,
Yeah.
and she looks at you and asks
Yeah.
you about this chapter right now in
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
life, what part of the story would you hope she understands?
Yeah, I think for me, it's really a story about like resilience
Mm,
and
yes.
for sure, resilience for me personally, and just choosing. Like, it's your life. Like, you get to choose in which direction you want to go. It's your choice. So, I want to teach her to like always choose the high road for sure. And I just really want to teach her that
Choose the high road.
yeah, like take the one that's less crowded, go the extra mile, do those things because it's going to pay off always. And like don't follow the crowd, don't listen to other people. Like I want to show her what independence looks like, but also that she can be like soft and sweet and still, there's got to be a balance, right? Because I think
Hmm.
for me, I grew up very like focused, had to take care of myself and many people around me. I grew up way too fast. I don't want that for her, but I want her to look at what I've done and learn from that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Resilience. That is a
Yeah.
fact.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
what belief, what belief do you hold today that most people completely disagree with?
Hmm. Um
There's probably a lot of them.
yeah, yeah. I'm like, which one should I share? I think there's just there's no substitute for hard work. Like you need to put in the reps. You got to get the experience. I think people genuinely now think that they can get like from point A to point N like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. And I'm gonna say that I actually say this a lot to a lot of my staff and a lot of my team. Like it takes 10 years experience to be at a 10-year level. Like it just does.
Yes.
You can't skip that part. And like, yeah, sometimes it's frustrating because you look at people and you want what they have and you wanna, you want that and you want this, but like you don't know how much shit they had to go through to get that. Right. And how much time and experience. So I do think that you can't skip the hard part.
Yeah. You cannot
And
skip
people
the.
think they can.
No, you can't. And if you do, you're gonna pay dearly for it
Yeah.
in the back end. It's like everyone jumping to Ozempic or plastic surgery or
Oh,
this.
yeah.
There is gonna be something at the other
Yeah.
end. You just gotta pick your heart.
You do, for sure. And like you got to live with your choices.
Exactly.
So like if that's the route you want to go, that's fine, but the person that you're going to get when you go on the Stairmaster for an hour versus the person, that took the Ozempic shot, two different
Two
people.
different people.
Like the high from like a good cardio session, like I'm like, people, you've never even experienced that.
Hmm.
How you feel after an amazing workout like that is like you have to experience it. You can't cut that out.
I always tell my clients this: consistency builds confidence,
Yeah.
you know, like, and evidence also builds confidence. And you can
Yes.
only get evidence from the experiences.
Yeah.
The focus you have right now, the grind,
Yeah.
the energy, everything that you have today that's built April
Yeah.
is from all those things you went through.
Exactly. And like the experience of even just working in the industry for that long. Like I've been
Yeah.
working in a hair salon since I was 15. Like, and people coming out of hair school at 3 years, they're like, well, I want that. And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, 15 more years and you can have whatever you want,
Hmm.
but like you really have to figure out who you are and you got to put in the reps.
Figure out who
Yeah.
you are. Take the time to get it out. Get
Yes.
it out,
Yeah.
like you said.
Yeah.
Now, that leads to this question, right? If you could sit across April, like sit across the table, you're in the cabin in Sylvan
Yes. Yeah.
Lake,
Yeah.
and it's COVID,
Yeah.
everything is going down.
Hmm.
You've lost your mind and came back.
Yeah.
What would you say to her?
Now
Yeah.
I would just say you did it. And you're doing it. And like I am so happy in my life. Like, there's moments, of course, that like things come at me and stuff, but like I literally, one of my biggest things was like, I want to find joy again. I want to laugh again. And I have created like the best, like, even just my home, like I love my life now. And it was literally the biggest pillar for me was like joy and happiness. And now it's like I don't do anything unless it fulfills those two things for me.
I love that.
Yeah.
This is one last question I have for
Yeah.
you to finish up the
Yeah.
episode. Do you think in that moment when you realized the salon was where you felt joy and happiness,
Yeah.
that moment you're sitting, you're reflecting, you're
Yeah.
writing it down
Yeah.
to this moment right now,
Yeah.
did you feel, has that feeling kind of stayed constant? Like you've gotten a lot
Yeah.
of stuff, you've
Yeah. I
traveled,
mean, there's a lot going on, right? Like there's a
Mhm.
lot going on. We're going on our 5th location, you know. I've got over 40 staff. I've got managers. I've got people reporting to me. I've got like a lot going on. But like, yeah, I still love it. Like every day I'm still excited. Like as soon as I woke up this morning, I was like, I can't wait. Like I got to go to one of the salons. You know what I mean? Like I got to see my people. Like those are my people, you know? And I feel like this industry, like I just keep going in more deeper into it. And it's like these people in my industry, those are my people, you know?
Mm,
And I don't know. And it's like your fitness people, right? Like when you guys all get together, it's like, it's just an energy,
it is an
right? It's like an
energy.
energy and you can't explain it. And it's so, yeah, it's great. It's
I
just
love it.
joy and happiness. Yeah.
Joy and happiness.
Yeah.
That's the name of your book that will
Yeah.
be coming out soon.
Right. Yeah.
Anyways, April, I want to thank you for taking the time
Thank you.
to elaborate on your story, sharing some gems. My biggest takeaway is definitely taking that time
Yeah.
to reflect. I think that is a massive one, especially when you're in the hustle mindset.
Yeah.
And guys, make sure you follow Root Bar on
Yes.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Follow April.
Yeah.
This is super exciting.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Oh,
much.
thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
That was such an inspiring episode. Not letting fear hold you back from reaching your full capacity. Holding on to the dream that you once had for your life. Are you creating the life that you've seen that is in your heart to create for yourself? Or are you just accepting what life has given you so far? This was a big eye opener for us, and I think we all need to take the time, like April did, to really listen from what is inside. When was the last time we experienced joy and happiness? What was the place? See this as a message to you to reflect on. Are you experiencing joy and happiness in your life right now? Thank you for watching this episode. Make sure to like and subscribe. We appreciate your support. Stay blessed.